There is a humility factor to it. Don't be afraid to take that one-year internship or something right out of school. None of us are above that when you're coming out of school. That's important. I think, I was lucky in my situation, but it was again because I had a prior relationship with someone. But I interviewed for 2 or 3 year-long internships coming right out of school, and would have been happy to accept any one of them and do them. I was lucky that my opportunity at Indiana came along, but feel that's something that you've all, that's the stepping stone. We mentioned you probably won't be in that job after 2 years or 3 years, but it's important to get in just to get started, because it's the quality of work that you do is what you're going to be recognized for, not necessarily the degree that you had.
Yeah, and I think early on, coming straight out of school when you get started, there's always going to be a situation where you're putting yourself ahead by doing this program and doing 2 years of grad school. But at the same time, there's people that finished college and started working. So let's say you get a job with a property, and there's somebody that's been there for 2 years, and you're starting off and you did 2 years of grad school. Well, at the levels we're talking about when you're starting, the person with the 2 years experience at the property really has more experience than you do. So you can't go into it looking like, yeah, but I went to grad school. Because it's really, this is going to be really cliche, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not, I need to get to the fastest place within my first year. When you think about it, most people's careers are 30 plus years. So we're sitting here 5 years out. It seems like a long time. Like there's a lot of time left, and hopefully more jobs and more growth in where we're at now. But you really can't look at it like I'm in this position, and this person who didn't even go to grad school has a better spot than I do, because chances are it's going to happen to everybody at some point. And you're going to bridge that gap as you get older, and it's the marathon that you're after. You're going to get to the top as you go further along.
But you talked about interviewing for internships. You probably had very lucrative job offers out of undergrad, and now you have 2 master's degrees, and you're going in doing the grunt work. How'd that make you feel?
Awesome. I think, I don't know, I think some of you would share the same thought. Graduation from grad school feels like you've done everything that you were supposed to do. You've had the internship experiences, you've spent the time on your academics, and now you're at a place where it's supposed to all start paying off. And the reality is, it's when the rubber meets the road, and it's when the hard work really begins, because you don't have the crutch of academics as a way to open a door for an opportunity for work experience. And it's really when the difference is made between those that rise to the occasion and those that don't, because it's definitely the toughest point. And for me personally, I didn't come out of grad school with a job offer, so to speak. I spent some time at GMR through an internship, and it's a difficult place to be in when you know that school's coming to a finish, and you've got to start a future for yourself, and what do you do, and do you hold out, and all these sorts of things. But I think you take the opportunities that are in front of you, and you make the best decision that you can, and then you work every day to make it have been the right decision. And you bust your butt in the office, and you go in on the weekends, and you travel because somebody needs to and no one else wants to, and you do all of those things, and it all works itself out. It's easy to say now, but you spend so much time thinking about the money, and you've invested all this in student loans, and you've got to pay those off, and now's when I should realize kind of the fruits of my hard work. But if you can find a way to set that aside, it really all works itself out. It really does. If you can stay focused on the things that made you choose to come to school, instead of going out into the real world and taking the more instant gratification of, financially, if you can keep that mindset, it will all work itself out eventually, and you'll be better for it, and your career will grow because of it.
Lori and Chad, did you ever say to yourself, it's just not worth it working these sports? It's too tough.
Well, yeah, look, I think anybody that comes here knows what you're getting into, right? It's not like, I think if you're here and you're in this place now, then you know what you're getting yourself into. You're not going to get rich 5 years out of school. You're not going to get rich 10 years out of school. You've heard it all before. I think belaboring the point doesn't make it any more real. You get out, you pay your dues. If you do it right, you do it well, have faith that it pays off for you. But somebody at Bank of America that I was talking to last week, Chuck Price, who's one of their sports marketing people, he said there's three things that you really have to look at in a job in terms of what's going to make you happy. And the first is, can you go into the office every day and do something that makes you happy, that you're excited to do, that you're excited to get out of bed for. The second one is, are you in a place, holistically that makes you happy? Do you have friends around? Do you have family around? Are you happy? Work included, just the whole big picture. And then the third one is, are you compensated at a fair, what you consider fair for what you do? And you don't have to have all three to be in a good place. And the third one isn't going to come for you guys anytime soon. And it's I don't know if any of us would say that we're there right now. But the other two, you're probably going to be excited about getting out of bed every day and going to work. And you choose where you live, and you choose your friends, and you can control that part of your life. And if you've got those two, then you're in a good place. So if you're chasing the money, then go do something else. Use the MBA. I guarantee you, there are people that we got our MBA with that are doing extremely well, and you can do that too. But if that's what you want, use that degree.
Lori, do you feel like you're in a position after 5 years to really take off now and hit those goals that you had set way back when?
Absolutely. I think that one of the things that you always look at is, I've been constantly challenged by our VP. He always says to us, what is your brand? If somebody were to sit there and say, you as a person are a brand, how would they describe you? And that's something that's kind of interesting to think about is, if I put the work in and I'm passionate about what I do, and the people that I work with day in and day out know what I'm about, and the work and the time that I put in day in and day out, I'm creating a brand. I'm creating myself. I'm creating a reputation of trust. I'm creating a relationship with these people that in getting the tools that hopefully will take me to the next level, each level, because I'm growing those relationships. I'm getting the experience, and I'm just building this reputation, and I hope to continuously build it. I'm going to continuously struggle and challenge myself, like these guys have been saying, because that's what you have to do in the sports industry. As we all know, everybody would love a job in sports. Everybody would, but we have the essential tools. Now we have to use them. So how do you use them to the best ability of getting where you want to go? Maybe it's not A to B. Maybe it's not directly A to your exact job that you want, but how do you get there? Is it A to B to C to D that you get there? How are you slowly but surely, picking away at that, getting that experience, getting those relationships built to get where you want to be, your ultimate goal? And it doesn't always have to be, the goal doesn't always have to be exactly what you started with when you were in grad school. It changes. I evolved. I'm sure a couple of these people can say that they evolved originally what they thought they wanted to be, because you learn new things. You know what you don't want to do. I know that. I always say that. Somebody always says to me, what do you want to, what exactly do you want to do? I know what I don't want to do. But in regards to what exactly do I want to do, I'm still learning.
Let's do rapid fire, one word each answers. If you could go back to
We
grad
didn't talk
school.
about this.
We're not discussing it. If you go back to grad school, and you can't repeat, by the way, and fine-tune one skill, what would it be, Laura? One word.
Man, you picking on me. You started me on the, I didn't get to answer I had to answer last, and I had to answer first. Sorry.
Relationships.
Jennifer?
Sales.
Jim?
Mine would definitely be marketing.
That was more than one word.
Analytics.
Sorry.
You've had plenty of time now, Lori.
Communication.
Good one, Bull.
I'd like to open it up to the room. Any questions from our...